In the morning of December 27th, we went out for a walk in the neighborhood here in Deep Cove in North Van, BC. Vancouver finally joined the rest of Canada in terms of snow and coldness. On our way back, Winston suddenly turned around and asked me, "Do you remember what day is it today?" I stopped and looked into his eyes for 2 seconds, surprised and didn't know what the answer is. He grinned and said, "Today is the day we moved in together last year." For a second, I found it hard to believe. With working from home and lockdowns, work, life, space, sense of time just all blended in together. But I'm so glad we did what we did and transitioned into fully remote jobs and setting up goals to work towards too. It was quite a journey, and it was a fulfilling one. Here is what we have learned. If there's one theme about beginning, I would say it is the learning curve. We learn to be flexible in small things, but set clear boundaries on big things. None of us has lived together with another human being in a relationship before, so everything's so new. Not only would we need to learn to live with each other, but also at the same time juggle the challenges working from home. Think about it. Working from home means navigating the same space together day in, day out, day after day. Frustration and conflict is almost inevitable as we lose structure and that sense of space from our previous way of living. For example, previously, if you had an argument with your partner, even just a little bit of annoyance, the next day you were able to get out of your bed, go into a completely different environment like work, talk to different people, all of which would help us process our emotions and come back at the conversation. But now, you're stuck in space with that person, no matter what. There's nowhere else to go. Just know that away time for you to process everything, calm down, and then come back to communicate your feelings thoughtfully. Things can escalate faster and unnecessarily than before. The key to avoid this is to be flexible in small things, but set clear boundaries on big things. Small things are like, if we go on hikes, we tend to go really easy with food preparation. And let me give you an example of big thing. Knowing both of us are on the introverted side, what really helped us initially in our learning curve was that we set clear boundaries and create separate space that belongs to each person. Entering each other's private space would require knocking on the door. And you also have all the freedom in the world to decorate or modify the space that belongs to you. Other examples of big things are like rules regarding garbage duties, cleaning schedules, laundry runs, and grocery shoppings, etc. And depending on your living condition and personal situation, this list can grow or shrink. I know it might be a luxury for some people, and you might need to make some compromise as to who's going to take the living room versus who's going to take that bigger bedroom. But with a little discussion and thoughtful arrangement, it can go a long way. After 6 months in Vancouver, we decided that we had enough of the city and it carried on with the experimentation of our quasi-nomadic life. Where would be a good place that was close to the mountains and lakes, not too far away from Vancouver, and also wouldn't break the bank? It was a unanimous vote. We moved into an Airbnb in Garibaldi Highlands in Squamish, British Columbia for 2 months. The second lesson we have learned during the summer was very obvious and almost intuitive. What we learned was days are long. Do the activities you enjoy together and be adventurous. Days are long because remember those days you go out on dates for a couple of hours once or twice a week? That's gone. That's long gone, especially by now. When you live together and working from home together with your partner. suddenly you can see and talk to each other just around the corner at home. You don't need to wait for that text from him or her confirming your date night arrangement. You don't need to guess where each other is and whether there's other people hitting on him or her. I did some math here. Assuming on average we spend 1 day a week with each other during normal dating, and now that you see each other 7 days a week. So a year of dating and living together equals what, 7 years? That's crazy. It is easier than ever to let time and the mundane daily routines to wash away that exciting tension and admiration towards each other. Days are also long because of all the things that can go wrong and are out of your control. For example, there happened to be a fresh new construction site right beside our place in Squamish throughout the whole summer. It goes like this. I mean, we might as well leave an Airbnb review saying that, hey, this is a great learning experience seeing how construction takes place from the beginning. There was also wildfire in scorching hot summer here in BC that brought very poor air qualities and, a few cancelled plans. Oh, and have you heard? Many places in BC do not come with aircon because we never really needed it. Forgot to mention, plus our fridge broke a couple of times and food all spoiled. Yes, the days are long when you live and work from home together all the time. But if you're really putting the effort to nurture and maintain that healthy dynamic by indulging common hobbies and trying out new things, you can totally turn these long days into absolutely the best opportunities to create that deep connection. Remind him or her of why you fell in love in the first place. Keep surprising him or her of how amazing you are, because I know you are. Set up some routine activities you can do together. For example, we do eat out once a week, and we have at least one show we watch together. Right now, we are watching The Expanse. Or go for a small big hike once a week as much as possible, of course subject to weather. Don't just go through the motions. Be in the moment, as if you are going out on dates. Although the summer was a little hectic, overall, I would say it was a really good 2 months, and we had a blast here. Now, it wouldn't be us if we ended the summer just normally. We made ourselves homeless, quote unquote, for 5 days. Before we moved to the north then, we took a detour and did some interesting glamping on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. It was my first time being homeless on a trip. It felt strangely liberating and exciting, and a great way to transition back to a more stable place. North Vancouver, based on our brief experience visiting here, seems to be a perfect, cute, and quiet neighborhood to try out. For the past couple of months here, we really took some time to focus on our career and figuring out our goals and plans for next year. During this turbulent time with COVID still going on wave after wave in the background, it felt like the right thing to do. It's like a coping mechanism.
Hey baby, I really liked the point the other day you made about how having common goals can reduce unnecessary conflicts. Can you elaborate like you did the other day?
Yeah, I think when you're in a relationship, when a couple is in a relationship together, there's gonna be a lot of friction, conflict, day-to-day stuff, and most of those stuff are small stuff, right? So one way to resolve past that is to focus on bigger goals, like longer-term goals, and that could include shared goals around career, around finance, around lifestyle, and around like the future and how you want to plan that, and then focus on those shared goals versus the the day-to-day up and downs, and use the shared goals to anchor the discussion rather than focusing on the sort of the little frictions and here and there, and those little frictions will blow you by, and then the relationship will still be strong.
So, baby, can you talk about how we set up our financial day-to-days?
Yeah, I think one of the things we did right from the beginning is setting up a system for us to track our finances and manage our finances as a couple. And we did that knowing that a lot of the relationships, like other people's relationships, kind of run into trouble due to finances, and we want to avoid that mistake for us from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So what we have done is, so both of us have full-time jobs and we have our regular incomes. The way we kind of set up is that both of us want to contribute fairly into the relationship. However, keeping in mind that our incomes are not the same at any given point in time. So what we decided is a ratio of our incomes to contribute proportionally to the household. And then by collecting all these spending data, and we categorize them into such as rent, groceries, buying stuff, and different categories, right, including leisure activities and so on. And at the end of the year, we can do our analytics to see where we spend our money.
Exactly.
And we can focus on to save better and to use our money more optimally. I can give one example. We spent around $10,000 in groceries and supplies last year, and I noticed 1/3 of them was at Costco, and 2/3 are not. So one of the actions we can take is we noticed that buying bulk in Costco can save a lot of money because those things last literally forever. So if we shift the ratios a little bit to try to buy more at Costco, we'll see if that hypothesis holds that our grocery bills will decrease, inflation adjusted, of course. That's something we can we're gonna try that on a number of different aspects as well, based on our shared finances.
Yeah, that's such a nice, actionable insight. Yeah. And these are all the nerdy stuff we do.
Yeah. It's quite fun, actually, looking.
Living together as a COVID couple has been an interesting experience for us. To reflect on the past year, I am grateful for all the ups and downs we had been through together. Besides the obvious of how much laughter we had keeping each other company, I'm glad that we really get to test our relationship this way to see whether it works or not for the long run. I'm also glad that we push each other to become a better version of ourselves, and also reminding each other of our common future goals. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to continue to make these videos about working remotely and working towards our nomadic life and our journey towards FIRE. Most importantly, we hope to bring you some inspirations and fun. Until next time, take care.